Bruce Lee was a famous superstar, a martial arts master, a shining movie star, and a role model for many generations. Throughout his short life, Bruce Lee was able to find a place in the hearts of millions of his fans, but unfortunately in 1973 at the age of only 32, he passed away. However, this does not mean that he left no legacy behind that will live on for a long time. On the other hand, Bruce Lee was such an incredible martial artist that many people believed he had supernatural abilities. In today's video, we will talk about some of Bruce Lee's physical abilities that shocked people. Number 5. Dragon Flag. First of all, let's talk about things everyone should know. It doesn't matter what skills you have, if you don't continue practicing and working hard, you can easily lose them. These skills can include writing, playing an instrument, or even singing. Bruce Lee's most prominent talent was his physical abilities. For example, according to his wife, Bruce spent almost every minute of his day practicing and strengthening his skills. This man knew that in order to become the greatest martial artist in the world, he had to practice and exercise for hours. But Bruce was not someone who did the ordinary workouts that everyone else did. He stayed away from regular workouts thinking they wouldn't maintain his physical fitness. Therefore, he decided that he had to develop his own training style, which was known as the Dragon Flag. In most of his workouts, Bruce focused on building the muscles of his core and torso. These muscles were essential for martial arts techniques. Therefore, he specifically wanted to focus on these muscles and develop the Dragon Flag technique. At the start of this exercise, Bruce would sit on a bench and raise the rest of his body using nothing but his shoulders. According to him, this technique helped him achieve an unparalleled level of physical fitness for almost every muscle in his core. Today, the Dragon Flag technique, created by Bruce, holds an important place in the martial arts community. Bruce's technique has influenced martial arts masters worldwide and helped them understand how important the strength of the body is. Number: catching rice grains with chopsticks. If you're into martial arts films, you probably know The Karate Kid. If you remember this movie, you will recall Daniel's effort to catch a fly with a pair of chopsticks. Chopsticks, or the Chinese eating utensils, are something that seems very simple at first, but when you try it, you realize how difficult it is. However, Bruce Lee took it a step further. He could throw rice grains in the air and catch them with chopsticks. This level of precision and speed that Bruce Lee demonstrated was unparalleled. Number: Bruce Lee's physical strength. One of Bruce Lee's achievements that many people overlook is his incredible physical strength. Everyone knows that a martial artist needs to be strong, but many of us may not realize just how strong Bruce Lee actually was. Many people assume that strength is related to having very large muscles. In this regard, when you think of a very strong person, you probably think of someone who is 1.9 meters tall with incredible muscles. However, Bruce Lee was much smaller in stature, yet far stronger than most people would imagine. To understand this, we can look at Bruce Lee's punching bags. Many people practice punching or kicking with punching bags filled with sand. Of course, Bruce Lee did this too. However, the punching bags that this martial arts master used had to be replaced regularly because Bruce would either tear or puncture them. This meant that Bruce had to find heavier and more compact bags that could withstand his incredible power. In any case, don't forget that a regular sandbag weighs about 50 kilograms. However, the bags that Bruce used usually weighed over 135 kilograms. Interestingly, Bruce Lee could throw these bags several meters into the air. You might feel discouraged, but in fact, if you wanted to kick these heavy bags, you could only move the bag a few centimeters, while Bruce Lee could move the bags several meters with just a simple kick. Number 2. Bruce Lee's lightning speed. What we are about to tell you is something that is very well known among Bruce Lee fans, but people who are not into martial arts might not know this. As you know, Bruce Lee became a movie star in the 1960s and 1970s, so much so that even today he is considered one of the greatest martial arts actors in the world. However, Bruce Lee almost failed in the film and TV business. The reason for this was that Bruce Lee was too fast for filming, and while working on one of the most popular TV shows, Green Hornet, filmmakers were unable to capture his moves in real time. Today we have cameras that can film at speeds of 30, 60, 120, and even 240 frames per second. But in the 1960s and 1970s, cameras had trouble capturing images, even at 24 frames per second. This meant that many of Bruce Lee's fight scenes looked completely wrong on camera, so the producers realized that Bruce could land 9 strikes in 1 second. However, when these moves were filmed with a camera that could only record at 24 frames per second, Bruce appeared to be standing still in most fight scenes. According to the producers who were on set at the time, the footage shows Bruce standing while his enemies were lying on the ground, as if he hadn't made any moves. This man was so fast that even the camera couldn't keep up with him. Number 1. The 1-inch punch. If you know Bruce Lee, you've probably heard of his legendary one-inch punch. This was a very powerful punch that Bruce Lee was able to perform over and over again, and with this technique, he could knock out opponents much larger than him. Bruce would place his hand very close to his opponent, then throw a powerful punch that would send the opponent flying 5 meters back. In fact, one of the most important aspects of martial arts is being able to land punches that disable your opponent for as long as possible. Because the longer it takes for the opponent to recover, the more time there will be for the next move. Bruce Lee developed the one-inch punch technique that would keep his opponent on the ground for a long time. He then used the precious seconds while the opponent was incapacitated to land more strikes. This way, Bruce could win almost any fight he participated in. Another strange thing about his technique is that since Bruce Lee's death, only one person has succeeded in mastering the one-inch punch. The person who did this was a Shaolin monk, and this monk performed the move in front of cameras and a group of physicists so that people could analyze and see the technique up close. As a result, experts concluded that the force of the one-inch punch was equivalent to a car crash at around 50 km/h. So, if we say this punch was devastating, we are not lying. Honestly, would you like to take such a punch? The 5 things we've mentioned are just a small piece of the puzzle of Bruce Lee's success, a man who broke thousands of records in his short life and became a role model for generations to come. Now, we want you to write a sentence for Bruce Lee in the comments. Also, if you want part 2 of this video to be made, comment part 2 for us.
Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.